The cautionary tale of the will-o-wisp has been a common element of folklore throughout history, luring naive and foolish travelers to their ultimate fate. Those tempted by the mysterious glow shining through the darkness are inevitably led astray and subjected to devastating consequences. Notably, the Irish legend of Stingy Jack is one that permeates through our culture to this day. Though you might not know the full story, you probably know Stingy Jack's punishment for his greed, which led to his banishment from heaven and rejection from hell. With no place to go, he was forced to wander the earth in darkness with only a burning ember in a turnip, earning a new nickname, Jack-o'-lantern. The Jack-o'-lantern has become synonymous with the phenomena of the will-o'-wisps. Both names were used to describe faint glowing lights seen by travelers in the pitch blackness of nighttime. In North America, they've become known as spooklights or ghostlights, the most famous of which can be found several miles outside of the town of Joplin, Missouri, deep within the Ozarks. This mountainous area comprises southern Missouri, northern Oklahoma, and western Arkansas, and is home to perhaps the strangest documented case of a single will-o'-wisp in the United States. Every night, 9 miles south of Joplin, in the small town of Hornet, Missouri, a single light can be seen far in the distance from a lone dirt road. Its appearance has been called a lantern in the distance, and appears to slowly walk across the horizon, and in rare instances has appeared around the observer. Some have reported the light to dance into the woods, then reappear behind you. Town locals know the exact street where it happens, 50 Road, though most will just refer to it as Spooklight Road, or perhaps more fitting, the Devil's Promenade. From the town of Hornet, you'd actually need to cross the border into Oklahoma, where the Devil's Promenade resides. If you're sitting in your car on 50 Road, facing east, when the sun goes down, the light will start to appear. As you and your vehicle inch down the gravel path, these lights take the form of a single flickering point converging on the horizon, where it appears as though the Devil's Promenade would run straight through it. That's where the light shines, warping and shimmering as a dancing glowing orb. The light has become famous throughout the Ozarks, and townsfolk have attempted to explain the phenomena through mythology and urban legend. A popular story involves a Quapaw Indian woman who fell in love with a warrior. As her family was poor, her father couldn't afford any sort of dowry, forcing them to elope. The other braves chased them out of the village, and as a last resort, leapt into the nearby Spring River to escape capture, but drowned. After their deaths, the light is said to have first appeared, glowing with the spirit of love. Many of these stories use the history of the Ozarks as a set piece for urban legends. During the First and Second World Wars, this region had a large mining presence in service of the war effort. The Lost Miner then became a popular story to explain the presence of a meandering lantern. While the miner was away on an expedition, it is said that his home was attacked and raided by a nearby Indian tribe. When he came home, his wife and children were missing. He vowed to one day find them, wandering through the woods with his lantern to this day. The presence of the light is sometimes seen as a malevolent being, with a uniquely evil spirit emanating death and negative energy. The Kansas City Star reported that at one time, a family lived on 50 Road. When their 2 daughters mysteriously died, they believed the light was the cause, calling it an evil influence. It was believed that their fear of the light had forced them to move away. To the town of Hornet, the Ghostlight had become more than a local superstition. It was now a force of nature. Their use of myths became important to the community in an attempt to ward off evil and vengeful spirits. The townspeople echoed the desire to find meaning in a way that could not be succinctly explained. It became a cultural landmark, attracting much attention to the small gravel strip of 50 Road. One example of this was the Spooklight Museum, which had been constructed by a man called Spooky Meadows at the entrance to the road before 1965, though it was little more than a tourist trap with a jukebox and pinball machines. As it stands today, many locals in the small tri-state area of Missouri, Kansas, and Oklahoma can tell you about the mystery on Spooklight Road. But over the years, the outside world has discarded the element of superstition to once and for all debunk the phenomena. There were several rational explanations. It could have been car headlights, streetlights, or an actual lantern in the distance. Some believed it was an elaborate light setup rigged to appear regularly, but no one ever found any sort of contraption that could do such a thing. Another popular idea was that of flammable swamp gas. Methane vapor is definitely found in the marshlands, but the gas doesn't spontaneously combust. and wouldn't stay lit for as long as the sightings are known to take place, many lasting for several minutes at a time. Or it could just as easily be the will-o-wisp, luring a traveler down the Devil's Promenade. If you head further into Oklahoma from Hornet, you'd enter the Quapaw Nation. It seemed likely that the lights could be coming from the village. Even this little town has regular nighttime activity, but then the lights would just be stagnant. It wouldn't move sporadically like it had been known to do. The light also would be constantly seen at night, not just at irregular intervals, which had been the case for as long as the Spooklight had been documented. Some claim the light first appeared as far back as 1880, creating a small panic in the town of Hornet. Others said it would appear to them personally, just outside their bedroom window. The most popular and only documented way of seeing the light was from the point of 50 Road, the Devil's Promenade. So what made the specific stretch of road in the Ozark Hills the exact spot where the Ghostlight appeared most frequently? Dr. George W. Ward believed that the Spooklight was the result of car headlights refracting through trees and over the hills, but only if the temperature and humidity were of the correct values. This, he thought, would give the atmosphere the correct density to bend the light and beam it down to 50 Road. This seemed very plausible, as it would be most similar to the mirage effect, also known as a fata morgana. Some were skeptical of this idea, however. Henry Hicks, a mechanical engineering professor at the University of Arkansas, believed that the light's refraction would not be as powerful in the nighttime. He believed that the light was in a fixed position, unlike moving headlights. Robert Gannon, who was reporting for a 1965 issue of Popular Mechanics, acts as the source for much of my coverage on the Spooklight, drove south of the Devil's Promenade, along with Henry Hicks and fellow Arkansas engineering professor Jean Prideaux, to finally figure out what was going on here. The three found themselves in an open field, about 3 miles south of the coverage of the Devil's Promenade, and atop the crest of one of the last hills before arriving in Quapaw, Oklahoma. They were equipped with a compass and a telescope, which they used in conjunction with each other to locate the spot on the horizon where the light shines down through the trees on 50 Road. It was difficult for the trio to find where the light was coming from, as the positioning from Hornet draws the eyes to that particular point on the horizon. But after following the readings from their compass, the familiar faint lights appeared in the telescope, more than one. From this angle, there were many sets of spooklights, 2 each, as they followed down their set path, but viewed with the naked eye, resolved into one flickering glow. The source seemed definite. Car headlights in the far distance clearly created what they called a peculiar snake-like pattern heading from a winding road, but the team was still unsure of which road they were coming from. After consulting topographical maps and aerial photographs, they deduced that across the way, the road creating the lights was a bend in US Route 66. The historic highway, seen from above, has almost a direct line of sight with the Devil's Promenade. Robert Gannon and Jean Prideaux verified the appearance of headlights down 50 Road via 2-way radio communications. Sure enough, his headlights were seen all the way from Spooky Meadows' Spooklight Museum. So once and for all, the mystery was solved. Even though the facts were finally laid out, something about the light captivates us beyond our understanding. It feels older than the US highway system, older than automobiles and headlights. In the same way that the will-o-wisps enamored people throughout folklore, we're oddly drawn to the same lights in the dark that we warned travelers about for centuries, lest they be led astray. Whether it be an Irish fable or a stretch of gravel road in the American Midwest, the stories of wandering souls and ancient spirits are what give these myths their staying power. It's not about what the light actually is, but what it could be, what it represents deep down in our collective psyche. The Spooklight lives on, attracting visitors to this day, tourists, skeptics, and believers alike. The enthusiasts who want to experience it firsthand aren't concerned with how the lights might have been debunked or explained. They crave the mystery for the sake of it. They want a captivating ghost story of a lost miner or the dark fate of forbidden love. There's some part of human nature that wants the phenomena to remain mysterious, as a flicker of intrigue in the back of our minds. Even though it has a concrete explanation, there's still room for us to wonder what else it might be, and why a flicker of light in the dark refuses to ever go out.
Will the Spooklight mystery ever be solved? Who knows? If you're ever in the area of Hornet, Missouri, drop by some night and see for yourself.